Hello boys and girls, welcome to grade 5, our social studies corner. I am Mrs. Parvati Kanai and our topic is natural region, specifically the hilly sand and clay region. We can see we have a map there and that map is showing us all 4 natural regions. Review of last lesson. In our last lesson, we learned the location of the hilly sand and clay region, main features of the hilly sand and clay region, definitions of some words, some types of settlements found in the hilly sand and clay region. Answers to homework. Did you do your homework? I hope you did. The low coastal plain is found north of the hilly sand and clay region. One resort found in this natural region is Maduwini or Splashmins, or if you have named any other that is found in this natural region. Farming settlement. Yarracabra, we have an education settlement, Kurukururu, a military settlement, Camp Stevenson, a tourist settlement, Maduwini. The hilly sand and clay region resources. Definition or meaning of some words that will be used. Mining, excavating the earth to extract or take out the resources. Ore, ore is a mineral which has a metal inside it. Ores are usually extracted or mined. Overburden, the rock or soil that is found above a mineral deposit. Export, send goods to another country for sale. Foreign exchange, the money gained from exporting goods. The hilly sand and clay region resources and economic activities. Resource. A resource is anything natural or man-made that is useful to man and the environment. The main resource of any country is its people. What are the resources of this natural region? Let us find out. Economic resources. We have a bauxite mining, sand mining, logging, timber and lumber production. We have pictures there. We can see logging, we can see the timber and lumber. Resources, agriculture. We have livestock and we have crops. Dairy products. For our dairy products, we have milk and butter. Resources, charcoal production. We can see we have the charcoal there, and then we have charcoal that is packaged for sale. Sand mining. Let us find out what sand mining is. At the sides of the roads of the Soesdijk-Linden Highway, there are huge sand pits. At these sand pits, the sand is excavated and sold. Uses of the sand. The sand is used to build roads, concrete buildings, fences, and bridges. Sand is also used to make concrete blocks and flower pots. Sand is used to make anything that is made of concrete. We have some pictures here showing us the sand mining. We have sand mining, that is a sand pit. We can see the truck there with the sand. Then we have sand being used to build road. We can see they are spreading the sand on the road there, so we can see how sand is being used on the road there. Sand was used to make, we have a house with a concrete fence. Sand was used in making the blocks and mixing the stuff to make the fence and the house. We have a picture of concrete blocks that was made with sand and cement. Sand was used to make, we have a picture with a house with concrete fence. Sand was used in making the concrete blocks that was used for the house and in mixing the stuff for the concrete for the fence and the house. We have a picture of concrete blocks. Sand and cement was used to make these blocks. Resources, bauxite mining. In the hilly sand and clay region, bauxite is mined in Linden, Aichuni, and Kwakwani. What is bauxite? Bauxite is an ore. It is found 60 meters or 180 feet below the surface of the earth. How is bauxite mined? The overburden is removed, then the bauxite ore is broken up by explosives. The pieces of ore are then taken by railway trucks to the processing plant. Let's go over that again, how bauxite is mined. The overburden is removed, then the bauxite ore is broken up by explosives. The pieces of ore are then taken by railway trucks to the processing plant. Here we have a picture showing the removal of overburden. We have another picture of the bauxite ore and another picture of a processing plant. All these are found in Linden, Kwakwani, or Aichuni. Benefits of the bauxite industry to Guyana. Job opportunities. Most of the people who live in the bauxite producing communities earn their living in this industry. Example of jobs: engineers, machinists, office or clerical staff. One of the most important benefits of the bauxite industry is that it earns foreign exchange for our country. Our country depends on the foreign exchange or money it gets from exporting bauxite ore. We are continuing with resources. This time it is agricultural resource. We have crops. Many persons earn their living by farming. The soil is suitable to cultivate. We have citrus. And our citrus are, we have oranges, limes, lemons, and grapefruit. Now the soil for the low coastal plain and the hilly sand and clay region are different. So you will find different crops growing in those regions. We are continuing with our agriculture. We have pineapple, peanuts, and ground provision. Another type of agriculture in the hilly sand and clay region, and this is dairy farming. Dairy farming is a type of agriculture that is focused on producing milk. These cows are called dairy cows. They are specially raised to produce milk, not meat. Now, we know that we have beef, that is the meat of the cow that many people eat. But the cow that is raised specifically for milk, you cannot use their meat. They are for milk, and they are called dairy cows. We have a picture of the dairy cow, and then we have a picture of the produce, that is the milk that we get from the cow, fresh cow's milk. Another resource of the hilly sand and clay region, and this is charcoal production. Most of us love the natural smoky taste of barbecue. But do you know where the charcoal that gives it that delicious smoky flavor comes from? Making charcoal is one way of earning a living in the hilly sand and clay region. So next time you have a piece of barbecue, Remember that the coals that made it probably came from the hilly sand and clay region. Making of charcoal. Trees are cut down and cut into lengths. Then it is placed into a hole called a pit. It is lighted, then covered. When the wood is burnt, charcoal remains. It is then packed into bags and are sold. We are continuing with resources making of charcoal. Trees are cut down and cut into lengths. Then it is placed into a hole called a coal pit. It is lighted, then covered. When the wood is burnt, charcoal remains. It is then packed into bags and are sold. So this is how we make charcoal. The process of making charcoal. We can see in our first picture, we have the cutting down the trees. They cut down the trees. Cutting into suitable lengths, you have the blocks of wood there that is to be burnt. We have the lighted charcoal pit. Then when it is finished burning, we have the charcoal. Then we have it packaged into bags for sale. So that is the process of charcoal. Cutting down the trees, cutting into suitable lengths, lighted charcoal pit, where the wood would burn, then we have the charcoal, and then it's ready for sale or market. Resources logging. We have some definitions here. Logging is the activity or process of cutting down trees to sell the wood. Bucking, the process of cutting a felled tree into logs. Timber, trees that are cut down to produce wood. Lumber, wood that has been prepared for building. The hilly sand and clay region resources logging. Logging in the hilly sand and clay region is done mostly in the Bartica Triangle and the Mabura Hill. Timber is produced from the logging industry. Timber or lumber, which are products of the logging industry, is used in the construction of houses, bridges, and boats. Let us watch a video on how trees are cut down.
Already leaning. See already the crown. It's 80 plus centimeters DBH tree. Yeah. The lianas, yeah.
As we have seen in our video, how trees are cut down and processed into timber and lumber to do our buildings, bridges, boats, and so on. The hilly sand and clay region, foreign exchange. Foreign exchange is earned by exporting the bauxite that is mined and exporting the excess lumber that is produced. The export of citrus also earns foreign exchange. When a country exports goods, It uses the money earned to purchase or buy things it does not produce. Let us look back. We have learned about the resources of the hilly sand and clay region. Examples: bauxite and sand mining, agriculture produce of the hilly sand and clay region, dairy farming, making of charcoal, logging, benefits of the bauxite industry, foreign exchange. Homework. Identify 2 mining industries in the hilly sand and clay region. Identify 2 mining industries in the hilly sand and clay region. Briefly explain how charcoal is made. Briefly explain how charcoal is made. List 3 crops that are grown in this natural region. List 3 crops that are grown in this natural region. Do we get meat from dairy cows? Do we get meat from dairy cows? State 2 benefits of the bauxite industry. State 2 benefits of the bauxite industry. Bye, boys and girls. See you in our next lesson. Please make sure you read, revise, and do your homework. Doing homework is very important. Bye.